So welcome again for the period class BSc first year and also for BCS first year. For BCS first year also there is a in syllabus included computer memory. In previous lectures we discussed what is computer memory, memory cell, memory organization, types of memory, that is primary and secondary. So this primary memory already we are discussing RAM, ROM, PROM, EPROM. This memory are generally used on motherboards. Means we are attached this memory on motherboards. Now secondary name indicates secondary means we are attached externally or this memory are maybe FD, that is floppy disk, CD, compact disk, HD, hard disk, pen drive, DVD, tape drive and DAD. All these are the secondary memories. Now we are here today we are discussing secondary storage devices, the place where we store our personal data in computer system is known as secondary memory. As you know, whatever your work you are did, that works in the form of data. The data we are stored in memory. The data we are stored in memory, and that data you can access anytime, can modify. So that type of the memory is nothing but your secondary memory. In this we store data so that when the data is needed, we can easily retrieve. Means whenever we need this data, we can retrieve, we can modify. And this is the fundamental component of computer system. It is a requirement. It is a fundamental requirement for your computer system. Of course, it is non-volatile in nature, so that we cannot lose the data when power supply is off. Means whatever the data we are stored in the form of secondary, it is non-volatile. And non-volatile means what? It is remains present though power is off. There are two methods for accessing the data from it. That is sequential. Sequential is nothing but you can access the data in sequential forms. Means what? When you play the music in old cassette, you can access the data in sequentially. Means if you want to play the track 5, we must forward track 1, track 2, track 4, and after we get the track 5 or the song 5 number. Means we are accessing sequentially, and the such type of the memory is sequential access. Also we can access direct. This is the method in which computer can go directly to the information that the user wants, like magnetic disc or optical disc. Means in CD you can directly play the song number 5. It is not necessary to go track 1, track 2, track 3 and track 4. We can go directly to the track 5. So that is the accessing methods. It may be sequential, it may be direct method, depends upon which type of the device we are using. So secondary storage devices, all these are the secondary storage devices. See the secondary storage devices: floppy disk, compact disk, hard disk, pen drive, DVD, tape drive, and digital audio tapes. The first, that is a floppy disk. Means, see the figures. In this figure, this is the figure for the floppy disk. Generally, nowadays it is not used, but it is included in your syllabus. And such type of the memory, that is a floppy disk memory. See this figure, floppy disk figure. In old days, this is the way to store the data, and whatever the data stored, we can carry easily with this floppy disk. It required floppy disk drive to access this data or to write the data. Maybe read or write, we need floppy disk drive. But in nowadays computers, it is not available because we are not using such type of the memory. Though it is not used nowadays, we understand how the memory is used. That is a floppy disk. See in figure, such type of the memory or such type of the floppy disk available in two sizes in that days. That is a 3.5 inch and 5.25 inch. So this type of the memory, that is a both are the floppy disk, but in different sizes. In different size, it requires different size of floppy disk drives. It is not used in same drives, it used different drives. Means if you are want to use this 3.5 inch floppy drive, it required the same size floppy drive. If you want to use 5.25 inch, we must use the same size of floppy drives. Both are the in particular format. See the figure, the rounded disc, the rounded particular disc covered by plastic. This is the area, that is nothing but access slot. When you insert this such type of the disc in floppy drives, this particular plate are moving circularly, and when it moves circularly, the data are accessed, or the head of that drive are accessed from this area, that is called as a access slot. In both 3.5 inch and 5.25 inch, there is an area to access the data from this slot. You can Priyanka, we have the problems. Please mute. Okay, are you listening to me? Okay, we are
Yes, sir.
Okay. We are discussing here the floppy disk. Just we put the figure, one of the figure. Maybe when the exam asks about the floppy disk, you can draw one of the figure from this floppy disk. This is a simple one notch, write protect notch. Means if your notch is closed, you cannot write, only read from this floppy disk. This is a disk jacket, that is outer cover, and this centering hole, this is a big centering hole, that is index hole. Index hole means that is the information about where the data are contained. And we can insert this type of the floppy disk in that particular size of floppy disk drive. Okay, we see one by the concept. So before studying the floppy disks, hard disks, or whatever the data storage, we must know the tracks and sectors concept. See, this is a figure. The circular lines is there. The tracking ring, that is a ring form. It is nothing but tracks. Circular rings, nothing but tracks. A track is a ring on the surface of the disk, like the ring of a tree. So these surrounding rings is known as a tracks, and a sector is a pie-shaped wedge of a track. In that track, one of the shape, this particular area. Okay, this type of the area on surface, it is known as a sector. Means whatever the disk, it may be floppy disk, hard disk, compact disk means CD. All these such type of the disks are, you can store your memory in sector, and that sector are under the tracks. Okay, so each memory are stored in the form of tracks and sectors. So these circular rings are known as a tracks, and the pie-shaped wedge of a track is nothing but your sector. Means one thing we must remember, that every data are stored in the form of tracks and sectors. Okay, it's depend upon the disk, how number of tracks available, how number of sectors available. Depending upon there, we can calculate the size of that disk. Here one the concept, that is a seek time. Seek time is the amount of time it takes for the read-write head to move the right sector on a disk to find the data you want to it. It depends on how long it takes the head to move back and forth and how fast the disk rotates. Means the seek time means finding the location of the particular sector on a disk. It's depend upon seek time where the sector is located. Means if your head is something far, means having the long distance, it requires some large time. If your head is nearest to that sector, it requires less time. So such type of the head is there, and such type of the tracks are available on floppy disks or hard disks or CD. All these type of the memory, this concept are applicable, and depends upon number of sectors, number of tracks. You can calculate the storage capacity. Now we are discussing about floppy disk. This is removable. Removable means you can remove and put in your pocket and carry. That is a flat piece of mylar plastic coated with ferric oxide. It is a plastic covered coated with ferric oxide. The floppy is packaged in two sizes, that is 5¼ inch and 3½ inch hard plastic envelope with a long slit for read-write access. A hole in the center for mounting the disk drive hub. In center there is a hole, and that hole, using that hole, it connect the drive head and it rotate the motor using the motors. Hence in floppy disk drive there is a motor which rotate. This kind of disk is read and written by floppy disk drive. Okay, means Like pen drive, there is not necessary to any drives. We can put that pen drive in any slot of USB. But here, if you want to use the floppy disk drive, there is a one additional hardware is required, that is a floppy disk drive. When you see the old computers, that old computer contains such type of the disk drives. This was used to transfer data from one computer to another. Data is recorded along concentric circular tracks. Yes, already we have discussed what is meant by tracks. The data are concentric circular tracks. The floppy disk has 192 tracks. Means on the floppy disk surface there is 192 tracks is there. 9 sectors per track. Each tracks contains the 9 sectors. 512 bytes one side of the disk. Means one side of the disk is contained 512 bytes. And net capacity is 1.2 MB. See what is the size of that disk. Only in floppy drives we can store 1.2 MB data. Nowadays we can use 32 GB using the pen drives. That's why nowadays it is unusable because its size is very less. Though in that days it is very compact, inexpensive and portable. Means that old days it is used to carry the data. Means we can copy the data like in your how we can use the pen drive. Same in that days we are using the floppy disk. And in that day it is compact, inexpensive and portable. So floppy disks are not used because of less storage and high rate as compared to currently available memory storage devices. Okay, so are you understand about the floppy disk? We can just write when you in exam there is a concept regarding the floppy disk. We can draw this figure, and one of the figure, not necessary to draw all the figures, to explain the regarding the tracks and sectors. Track is nothing but a ring surface, rings on the surfaces, and in that tracks the pie shaped wedge, that is a particular area is there, that is nothing but sectors. Floppy disk, about the floppy disk, we write all the description regarding their features also. It is plastic coated. It is available in 2 sizes. It required floppy disk drive. It has circular tracks. In floppy disks in general 192 tracks is available. In each track there are 9 sectors, and one-sided means one side. Two-sided means both sides you can store the data. In one side we can store 512 bytes. Of course it is compact, inexpensive, portable, but we of course mention in exam at the time of writing the answer, it is not usable nowadays. Okay. Now again second, storage devices, which is very important, and these devices are used till date, and generally it is you can say it is basic components for that. your computer. Means when you purchasing the computer hardware, that time you can purchase one of the major secondary storage devices, that is a hard disk. See the figure. Generally this packed hard disk, very heavy packing is there for the security purpose because it is very sensitive. And this hard disk comes with their hard drives also. And such type of the hard disks, how they are built in, see in figure. This figure, that is one spindle is there and rounded shaped surfaces are bunched together to form the hard disk. And there is a arm, and that arm having the heads. Heads is nothing but to read and write purposes, sensors. So this surface upper side and below side means one particular this area contains both surfaces, surface 1 and surface 2. So bunching of this type of the storages is known as a cylinder. Of course, this particular hard disks also are stored in the form of sector and tracks. See, this circular are tracks, and this area is known as a sectors, and such a type of the blocks are contains your data or your information. So such type of the secondary storages used in your computer as a basic component. Now see the description regarding the hard disk. Magnetic metal plates coated. Magnetic disk metal plates coated with both sides with a thin film of magnetic material. Means these plates are, both sides are coated with magnetic material. A set of such magnetic plates are fixed. Means all the set of magnetic plates are fixed to a spindle, one below the other, make up a disk pack. These splinters are connected, all these plates or combined all these plates. This disk pack is sealed and mounted on a disk drive. Such type of the disk pack is sealed and mounted on a disk drive. Such a disk drive is known as a Winchester disk drive. Means if you want to use the floppy disk, we use the floppy disk drive, and if you want to use the hard disk, then use the Winchester disk drives. Difference is that this Winchester disk comes with hard disk, not separately. But floppy disk comes separate. Right? Floppy disk is different and floppy disk drive is different. But hard disk comes with combining of both. So the disk drive consists of motor. Of course, to rotating that plates, we need the motors. So this drive consists of a motor to rotate and this rotating about its axis at a speed about 7200 revolution per minute. Means the speed of the motor which is rotated, the speed is 7200 revolution per minute. Means in minute that motor rotate that particular plates how many times? 7200. The drive also has a set of magnetic head, multiple head is there mounted on arms. Arms means it located with the head or connected to the head. The arm assembly is capable moving in and out in radial direction. Means that heads are moving in radial direction, that is in and out. The purpose of head to read data or write data depends upon the controller signal. If the control signal comes for read, it will read the data. If the control signal comes that is write, it write the data as you see in your memory cell. So data is recorded on the surface of a disk as it rotates about its axis. Means the plates are rotated in its axis. Thus it is on circular tracks on each disk surface. Means suppose the surface is on that surface, there is a tracks, a set of concentric tracks are recorded on each surface, and set of corresponding tracks in all surfaces. A disk pack is called a cylinder. Means all surfaces are packed using a cylinder. If a disk has n plates, there are 2n surfaces, means double. If there is a 10 surface, make it double, 20 surfaces is there. So thus number of tracks per cylinder is 2n, means again it doubles. A track divided into sectors. Read and write operation on a disk start at sector boundaries. Means from the first sector. Sector boundaries means from the sector. If the number of bytes to be stored in a sector is less than capacity of a sector, the rest of the sector is padded with the last byte recorded. Suppose there is sector size is 512 and we are stored only 500 bytes. Remaining 12 bytes are padded with their last recorded byte, means repeated. So assume that S bytes are stored per sector. S bytes are stored per sector, means S is nothing but bytes are stored per sector. P sectors are there per track. P is the sectors, number of sectors per track. T tracks per surface, means the number of tracks per surface, and M surfaces. So multiplication of these all, S into P into T into M, you can get your bytes or capacity of the hard disk. So what is the S? S is nothing but number of bytes per sector you can store. P is nothing but number of sectors available in per track. T is nothing but tracks per surface, number of tracks per surface, and M are the total number of surfaces. So multiplication of this all, you can get the size of your hard disk. So again we can calculate density in the form of byte per inch. So D is diameter of the disk. So depending upon diameter of the disk, so density is equal to S into P divided by pi into d. Using this, you can calculate the byte per inch, means density, means how many bytes are stored in 1 inch. That is nothing but density of that hard disk. Okay. So a set of disk drives are connected to a disk controller. There is multiple drives is there, and that multiple drives are connected to disk controller. Means all the read write, finding, searching, all the concept regarding the hard disk you can do using the disk controller. The disk controller accept commands from the computer and position the read write heads of the specified disk of reading and writing. Means every data which are available in hard disk having the address, and to find out the address means put your that disk controller on particular specified disk. Generally that is a particular drive, particular surface, bytes, tracks, the locations, and these locations where you want to read or where you want to write, the commands are sending by disk controller. See the in table, this table contains the disk address for disk controller. This address for disk controller means if you want to write or read the data, the computer must specify drive number, means which drive and which cylinder number, which surface and the which sector. So combination of all these drive number, cylinder number, surface number and sector number, this combination indicate the disk address format. This combination indicate disk address format. So this is the format. The drive number having 3 bits means the drive number A, B, C, D, whatever the drive number is there is 3 bits, and means using 3 bits you can indicate drive numbers. Using cylinder, the cylinder number are having the size 13 bits, means up to the 13 bits the cylinder number is there. Surface number up to the 4 bits, means the surface number is up to the 4 bits, and sector number up to the 8 bits. Means whatever the first 3 bit, that is for drive number, next cylinder number 13 bits, next 4 bits for the surface number, next sector 8 bits for sector numbers. So using this address we can access your data, and using this address format you can specify your data address. Okay, are you understand? Hello, Abhijit Kale. So are you understand the format for this address? Means first 3 bit is for the drive number. Okay, first 3 bit for the drive number and 13 bits for the cylinder number, 4 bits for surface number and 8 bits for sector numbers. Combination of all this is nothing but this address format. Okay, so such type of the address format we are used for your data writing as well as reading purpose. using the hard disk drives. Now see, seek time is the time required to move the disk arm to the required track. Required track means what? Where you want to write or you want to read, that is the required track. To move that particular required track, it requires some time, and that time is nothing but seek time. Rotation delay or latency is the time it takes for beginning of the required sector to reach the head. Rotational delay or latency is the time it takes for beginning of the required sector to reach the head. Means if the head is located somewhere and that head put the required sector, it required some times. Such time is nothing but latency time. Sum of seek time and latency time is the access time. Means time required to go at particular track and time required to go at a particular sector. Time required for to move at particular track and time required for to move particular sector. The sum of this is nothing but the access time. Okay, all drives are built-in controller, which is a microprocessor. One type of the microprocessor is there, and such microprocessor handle such concept of searching, reading, writing. Means in the hard disk there is one chip is there to handle all this type of the concept. Okay, so again the processing is used to compress the data. Compressing means nothing but to make data in smaller size without losing the data. Okay, compressing is means what? To store the data without affecting the original data. So for example, see one of the example of compressing technique, that is a run length encoding. One the example of compressing technique is run length encoding. So how that, see, there is 12 ones. There is 12 ones. And you can put that 12 ones followed by 1. 12 ones followed by 1. Means what? There is 12 ones. Total number of ones is 12. And put the 12 in binary and put 1. That is nothing but run length encoding. And instead of writing 12 ones, you can put 12 and 1. That is nothing but compressing the data. And the concept is known as the run length encoding. Same again one concept is there, cyclic redundancy code. That is one code is there, we can add in that particular string, binary string, and check whether the data is correctly written or not. And the concept is known as a CRC. RELE is nothing but compressing the data, and CRC is nothing but checking whether data is correctly written or not. Means RELE indicating compressing the data in your hard disk, and CRC is indicating whether the data is correctly written or not. Means what? If you want to store the data with compressing technique, the hard disks are used RELE. And if you want to check the data, whether the data is currently written or not, that is nothing but CRC. Both are the concept regarding your storing the data in your hard disk. Nowadays, disk storage technology is progressively rapidly increased. means its sizes are increased. Generally, hard disks in two physical sizes, 2.5 inch and 3 and 5 inch. Generally, 2 and 5 inch are used in laptop, which is small in size, and 3 and 5 inch drives are used for desktop computers. All these drives are connected through interface cables with the motherboard. Means we are not directly connected to the processor. We are connected this through some interfacing is there. That interfacing cable are connected with the motherboard. And the interfacing system for the hard drive, there are three main types. The older version of the hard drive used integrated drive, that is a PATA, parallel ATA. The newly computer system are used SATA, that is a serial ATA. And also for the server or high storage devices used SCSI interfaces, that is a small computer system interfaces. In old days use the PATA, that is a parallel. Now newly used interfaces are SATA hard disk. When the SATA are used means what? We are using the serial ATA interfaces. When you use the SCSI, that is a small computer system interfaces, which is mainly used on servers and in industry. ATA stands for Advanced Technology Attachment. ATA stands for Advanced Technology Attachment. It is the technology interfacing with the computer. And this ATA technology not only connected with the hard disk, it is also connected to CD-ROM also. It is also connected to the CD-ROM. Such type of the memory or such of the drive, such type of the interfacing used for hard disk as well as CD-ROM, or also DVD nowadays. We are considered to 2020. Hard disks are available in general 2 TB to 5 TB. In books there is a 2000 to consider. Now we are in the 2020 or in 2021, and nowadays we are available. If you want to purchase hard disk, in general 2 terabytes to 5 terabytes hard disks are available. Maybe in currently it is increased, means its size are increasing. Its size is increasing every years. Okay, so such type of the memory you can use compulsory in your computers. Now see, as compared to hard disk, one additional drives or additional memory comes in nowadays, that is a SSD, which is the very faster than hard disk. When you consider to purchase new computers nowadays, there is additional storage devices are included, that is SSD, solid state drive. And that solid state drive, which is 10 times faster than hard disk and also very smaller in size. Means newly, if you want to purchase laptop or computer nowadays, you can purchase SSD drives, and that SSD drives are very small in size, but as compared to hard disk, it is costly. Though it is costly, it is very fast. Means your computer started within the second. Okay, so it is a very beneficial nowadays to use the SSD drive. Okay, also you can modify your current available computer with the SSD drives. So this is about your hard disk. If you have any questions regarding this, tell me. Laute, are you understand? Hard disk, floppy disk, all these are the secondary storage devices. So if you have any query, ask me. Today's session is